Hello YouTubies, this is King Scribe and thanks for watching one of my amazing YouTube videos. Now I'd like to talk about Google Plus, and I know there's a lot of people out there who are finding it amazing, and there's other people who are finding it very tricky. They are looking at this and thinking, why have they done this? It's making everything so difficult. And in fact, Google has been making people's lives on YouTube more difficult. I mean, some people have lost channels just based on the fact that there's been corruption while they're trying to transfer their account from the normal YouTube setting to Google Plus. Some people have problems logging back in, and people say, oh, it's easy to change your password. No, it's not actually. Some channels have actually gone down because they're being put on to different emails, for instance, and those emails address no longer exist, or for whatever reason it's also connected to another Google account and now you can't bring it back. So there's been some very odd things going on with Google, and people have found it tricky at times. Now they keep on making these changes, and the changes are not always good, and then sometimes they are good, and sometimes they make a change and you think, oh, this is not working out, and you think, it's about time I actually left YouTube. And then later on, after a month, when the change is implemented properly, you think it is an improvement, but I liked it before as well. I mean, one thing that they have taken away from the YouTubers is the personalization of their YouTube channel. I mean, there's no background allowed anymore. You're not really allowed to make it into your own web page, but maybe in some ways that's good, maybe in some ways it's bad, because some people's channels I went onto, I couldn't really read what's going on in the background simply because of the colors. They were using these weird 3D like colors that was making it difficult to actually look at their channel, and I think YouTube realized that, and so did Google, so they changed it. But by changing it, they punished the rest of YouTube for other people's mistakes on YouTube. People who were making silly backgrounds that wasn't working, and these people have a right to do that as well, but it was just making their channels difficult to actually navigate. YouTube changed it just based on that, but these people have the right to do that themselves. Why couldn't they do that? Now, it does make it more transparent, I agree. The one thing that I really like to talk about though is it good or bad, Google Plus? And I'm still up in arms about it, because they're running two things in parallel, but they're favouring the Google Plus. So anything that is the past algorithms of YouTube, they're now changing. So your PMs, your comments are now done through Google Plus, but it's very difficult to navigate the comments in Google Plus as a sort of whole. You see all the comments in one go. Oh, I've got 2,000 comments, so you can read through any you like. Or you got 2,000 PMs if you're a really big YouTuber. You might get one a week if you're somebody like me who does nothing on YouTube. But I just feel that when I'm looking at Google Plus, that there's some positives to it and there's some negatives. I looked on Google Plus, and it's very easy to get onto it through your YouTube channel now because it's connected. So all you have to do is just scroll down on your YouTube channel, go to Google Plus, and you can see everything you've been commenting on, at least on the last 5 comments. And it's very easy to navigate from one video to the next, just to leave a comment without actually watching a video. And that is a big change. That is an improvement. It means no longer do I have to go to the individual videos to reply to the person who's commented to me. So social networking seems to be improved just a little bit there, don't you think? So in some ways they've improved it. I can't just come onto YouTube and lie about it and say, no, there's no improvements. There is an improvement. Go to Google Plus, you'll see all the comments you've made over the last few days, and you'll be able to respond to each individual comment, leave more than 500 words as a reply on YouTube now, which is an improvement again. And you can navigate from one video to another to another to another without actually wasting bandwidth of your computer or of your internet connection. That's an improvement. Also, the thumbnails are far better. They're far more advanced on Google+. So positives. But they need to streamline this a lot better than they are doing. If I go leave the comments just on Google+, then I want to see some parts of Google+ that shows other comments like the old formats on YouTube, maybe a little better. But I want to be able to navigate a bit better than that, not just the last few comments, because it is an improvement, I agree, and it's more clear. Everything seems to be more clear and more vibrant and colourful. That's an improvement. I like it. But I also understand why people are a little bit annoyed with Google+. So I think, in 6 months we will be saying it's not too bad after all. But at the moment the transfer is really difficult on YouTubers because, we're having problems keeping up to date with certain things. They keep on changing something that's working. Now, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe when I'm looking at this I think, I don't want change. But after looking at Google Plus now, I'm starting to change my mind a little bit. I'm starting to think that there are positives, but I also see this as being a negative as well, because when you're looking at your comments, you want to see all your comments that people responded to. So you want to just be able to navigate really, really quickly. You might not want to scroll down through hundreds of comments if you've left them to respond to each individual one, because I like to communicate with people who communicate with me on YouTube or Google Plus or whatever. So I want to be able to do it easily, not having to scroll through hundreds of massive thumbnails on Google Plus, which is the one thing I can see being a disadvantage. But it has its advantages too. So it's really difficult. It's really difficult to actually say if this is a really good thing or really bad thing. Google Plus thinks it's a good thing. I think it has its advantages. I think it has its disadvantages. But that could change once the update is fully implemented. People might find, it's not too bad after all. And I believe that Google has made some positive changes to the algorithms on YouTube. For instance, many of you are now getting paid on YouTube. So you might complain that YouTube is not working for you, but you're still getting paid. Now, some of us are not. Some of us, have these adverts running on the screen, and, for whatever reason, the Google Plus is not connected to the YouTube channel properly, so nobody ever gets paid for it, except for Google, of course. So I think in time, I think things will eventually become more streamlined, but they've got some more work to do, and sometimes the old systems work just as well. I don't think the old system was that bad. I just think they've made a slight improvement on the old system based on the fact that you can navigate from one video to the next without watching it. That seems to be the biggest improvement, and the over 500 character response you can make. You can now make a comment as long as possible. It's made YouTube a more fascinating place. People are actually leaving smart comments, not just stupid insults, but smart comments that are well thought out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.